all over the pitch and been sensational. From a Chelsea point of view, it's not acceptable, that performance. I said beforehand they needed a bit of energy, character, all of those things. And I don't care how many injuries you've got in your team, you can still go out and put a shift in. Yeah. They haven't, and it's embarrassing from their point of view.
I think Guardiola needs massive praise here, because we mentioned the players that weren't starting, you know, the Kevin De Bruyne, the Haaland, etc., Grealish, whatever it may be. But how they come into this system and able to adapt to it so quickly. And then Gomez, I thought, has been outstanding down left back. Cole Palmer has had ups and downs. He should have, you know, probably scored and probably laid one on as well. But I just think as a team and what they've done from academy all the way to the first team, being able to fit into these slots, it's been brilliant.
So it all got on its way, really, didn't it, with Mahrez's fabulous free kick?
Yeah, it was a great free kick.
Slight deflection, but I mean, he did really.
Conor Gallagher, wasn't it? But the way he sticks it in, I mean, the accuracy, the power to get it up and down. Yes, there's that little deflection. Keeper's got no chance with that.
Wow.
Just a great strike, isn't it? And then after that, it was just a case of how many is this going to be, because then we're creating chance after chance, and they've been superb.
And then they had a helping hand, so to speak, from Kai Havertz.
Yeah, we wondered what the commotion was. We couldn't really see it on the first glimpse, but it came by, rightly so. The referee went to VAR, and you'll see on this next angle here, clearly he's put his hand right in front of Laporte's face, and it is the right decision. It is a sucker punch for them. But it's the right decision.
What about this, eh? I think Alvarez is probably saying, mate, I've just won a gold medal in the World Cup. I'm not worried about you.
Well, he got a hand to it, but
not quite Martinez, was he?
Yeah. Pound shop, Emmy Martinez. Now, goal number 3 was a thing of joy, wasn't it?
Oh, the pass and
beautiful.
Do you want to share it? Let's share it, Al. You know, I'll start with the right back position
so excited
here.
About
just
just
look at the way his feet and the spray, the way he just went over the other end of the field. And then this, you know, they're not finished yet. He makes a run as well, but they keep recycling the ball. Well, this is where you come into it, the attacking side of things.
I've said the passing and move. I mean, Chelsea can't get near them. They can't even put a tackle in. And the touch and the technique and the movement off the ball from the other players. Then to find Phil Foden, who then has the perfect finish. What a touch that is, isn't it?
Well,
where are you? He's waiting for there you go. Thanks very much on a plate. What a goal.
I love seeing Phil Foden in the centre of midfield. I know it's difficult with Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne normally playing them roles, but he offers so much more in terms of getting on the ball, how intelligent he is, the way he creates space for others. His first touch is just...
As good a goal that is from a Manchester City point of view, from Chelsea, I mean, that is nowhere near good enough. There's no energy, there's no tackles or nothing. You've got to get closer. They're good players.
Yeah. Where's that come from, though? Is that the leadership?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's got to come from the manager. I mean, you can just have a look at their body language out there. It's if we don't really want to be here, feeling a bit sorry for ourselves, got players out injured, I'm not sure that I want to be on the pitch. I mean, yeah, absolutely. It's got to come from the manager.
Big players on the pitch.
Of course they have, yeah. It's not acceptable, not good enough, nowhere near good enough from Chelsea.
Cole Palmer, you talked about him before the game. He's a young man with obviously lots of talent. Probably should have squared one to Alvarez, do you think?
I described him as delicious, but this certainly wasn't delicious, if I'm being totally honest. He should have squared it. Yeah. And if you don't square it there, you've got to score. He's gone for a cheeky little nutmeg through Kepa's leg there, but, you know, all the play is good. He keeps himself onside. But it's good movement, and just look at the movement for Alvarez there. Yeah. Just play the ball to him.
Checks up there, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's the one that you want. Tries to be selfish. On this time, wasn't meant to be.
He'll learn.
Alvarez was inches away just before half-time.
He was.
Well, it could have been 4 at half-time.
Yeah, from Mahrez, wasn't it, down the left-hand side again. Mahrez has been superb, hasn't he? Magnificent. Just can't live with him at all.
I think he just... Either side, whether he's on the right or the left, he's popping up everywhere.
Oh, just an inch away, isn't it?
It's just an inch. Yeah. I mean, he should probably be scoring that, but this is what Chelsea tried to do. They tried to chase the game, try to get the goal, leave himself really exposed at the back, and then they just lack of, I don't know, sort of any willingness to get back for the rest of the team, but yeah, probably should score there.
Yeah. Chelsea have offered absolutely nothing.
Look, they've had a really tough afternoon defensively, but going forward, I mean, it's so bad you wouldn't believe it. They've had no link-up play, they've had no options, they've been slow, they've had not one effort at goal, not one touch in the 18-yard box. They have been nothing short of pathetic, really, in forward positions. They sometimes work the ball out from the back, which they've done really well, and they do really well on this occasion. But just look exactly what happens. I mean, the Man City press has been very, very good, but they work it really well here, Chelsea. Then you're thinking, okay, where's my options? What am I going to do? So they pass it out really well. He's 1v1 there, Chalobah that is, down there. So all of a sudden they come back inside, they go back to the centre half, and then look what happens. It eventually ends up back with the goalkeeper. Yeah. Where's the movement? I mean, there's nothing. They've had nothing up front at all. We said before the game,
well, they are short
in what they're lacking. Yeah, but you've got Havertz, you've got Mount, and you think, well, come on, first time you can play that ball. That's not really a difficult ball. Comes all across to the side, and you think, okay, come on, get further forward. That's the position that you can go in, and then the ball does eventually come back out there. And then what happens again? Yep. It goes actually back to the centre half and you go back. So everything's been sideways or even backwards. They've had nothing in forward.
Graham Potter on the touchline there. What does he do now at half-time? Does he say, right, is it damage limitation? Or do you take a punt, right, go? If we get an early goal, you never know.
It's just about pride, isn't it? I mean, you look at Man City's, what they can bring off the bench as well. So I think we've all been in this position where we've been 3-4, 5-0 down, and it's just about damage limitation. Get back into your shape. Make sure they don't take the mick out of us, and just do the best you can.
That's not easy to do against Manchester City. Humiliation is a possibility here.
Yeah, but he's now got to say, okay, this tie might be lost, but where we've got to go out and we've got to show something. We've got to roll our sleeves up and give the fans something. We've got to show we care about this football club. Because that 45 minutes is not acceptable.
If they go toe-to-toe against Man City, they'll open you up. So they've got to get into their shape. Try play on the counter.
Show a bit of spirit. Well, with punditry like that, chaps, you won't be fired anytime soon. I can't say the same for this lot.
For this task, you're going to manufacture bao buns.
I'm not sure what was going on, but that looked like a mess.
I think just a touch of bitter.
You are in for a treat.
They were made with love, so I hope you do enjoy them.
I don't know about bao buns. You'd come across as a load of dim sums.
The Apprentice continues Thursday at 9 on BBC One and iPlayer.
There'll be highlights from all today's games in Match of the Day. BBC One at 10:30. Radio 1's Jan Slam competition kicks off tomorrow. You can win tickets to both the men's and women's FA Cup finals. Search Jan Slam on BBC Sounds. And the Lionesses Champions of Europe documentary is available to watch on iPlayer. Time now to pay tribute to Gianluca Vialli. The former Chelsea striker and manager died this week at the age of just 58 after suffering from pancreatic cancer. He will be missed.
We are just human. We are not gods. We produce memories and emotions. We can affect people's lives. I grew up in Cremona, a small town in the north of Italy. My parents, they helped me to keep my family on the ground. Winning the Italian championship with Sampdoria, it was a bit like the story of David versus Goliath. There was like an amazing joy.
That's a good serve by Vialli. Can he make it this time? Goal! Vialli for Italy. The golden boy has done it.
I lost the Champions League final in my last game for Sampdoria, and then 4 years later winning it with Juventus was really, really something special. You never lose. You either win or you learn.
And a tremendous shot. That's Vialli.
I want to become a Chelsea legend, so I want to score a lot for Chelsea.
You can give people something to cheer about and forget about all the other problems that they're dealing with.
Chelsea winning the European Cup Winners' Cup.
Everybody did great tonight, and I'm over the moon. Thank you very much, and see you next season.
You are the only person responsible for the energy that you bring in the dressing room. And I think generally in life is exactly the same. So whatever energy that you want to carry with you and share with people, you're responsible for that. And I want to project good energy now to the world.
Gianluca Vialli, so terribly sad. I mean, we had the opportunity to work with him on a number of occasions. I mean, he wasn't just a wonderful footballer and terrific centre forward and scorer of great goals. He was also a wonderful human being.
I think that's what has come out this week more than anything, is that we all know what an unbelievable career he had on the pitch. But off the pitch, he was just so nice, so warm, loved a laugh and a joke, wanted to be one of the guys. So young. Too soon.
I know. I love the line there that he said. What was it? You never lose. You either win or you learn.
It's just total class. I was lucky enough to meet him. I went to Italy to interview Mancini. Obviously, he was working for the Italian FA. That led to them winning the Euros. And he just had a great aura about him. The nicest possible man. Always put a smile on my face. And
this was after the Euros, of course, when they were together from Italy. They were together from 16 years old.
It's just,
I think Roberto Mancini said he was like a brother to him.
It's just
there's not many people in football that all over, everywhere, everyone has said some great things about him, being a nice person. That's very rare in football, because it's a tough business to be in. So for everyone to say the things they have said about him, it was only right they did that.
Gianluca Vialli, who died aged 58. There are 8 third-round matches today. Here are the scores. Bristol City and Swansea will meet again for a place in the 4th round after they drew 1-1. Derby cruised past League One rivals Barnsley 3-0. Cardiff came agonisingly close to knocking out Leeds in a Cup Classic in South Wales. They were 2-0 up after 31 minutes, but Leeds battled back to earn a replay with a 93rd minute equaliser from Sonny Perkins. Stoke made short work of Hartlepool, beating the League Two strugglers 3-0. David Wagner lost his first game in charge of Norwich as they were beaten 1-0 at home by Blackburn. And Walsall scored in a 95th minute penalty at Stockport to book their spot in the 4th round. It's half-time at Aston Villa. They're facing Stevenage. Here's the best of the first half with Robin Cowan.
Good Blasling to keep hold of it. Roberts, that's a lovely ball down the line, and Stevenage are in here. Norris to Rose! Oh, and the flag's gone up. This will be checked. We do have VAR. That looked very close. But it is going to be chalked off for offside. But a real let-off for Villa. Bailey. Oh, this is lovely play. It's Sanson, and it's 1-0. Really good goal from Aston Villa. Incisive, one-touch passing. And in the blink of an eye, they lead. Morgan Sanson with his first goal for the club.
Lovely finish over the keeper's right. They'll be disappointed, Stevenage, but that's the only way that Villa are going to score. Move the ball quickly.
Here is Norris. Big drop of the shoulder. Oh, Norris has gone for it! Oh! Just grazed the top of the bar. Tremendous effort.
What a strike that is, by the way. Olsen was thinking, no, please don't go in.
Yeah, great effort that, but if it stays that way, Villa will play at Stoke. A 2-time winners Preston North End have a plum home tie against Tottenham. Wrexham's reward for their thrilling win over Coventry is a home match with Championship high flyers Sheffield United. Reading boss Paul Ince will make a return to Manchester United, where he won the FA Cup twice. West Ham face a tricky trip to take on informed Derby. Having seen off Gillingham, Leicester face another League Two side in Walsall. The winners of the match here at the Etihad will face either Oxford or Arsenal, who meet on Monday night. The two sides are back out on the pitch. So let's rejoin Jermaine and Guy Mobley.
Thank you, Gary. And we rejoin you with news of 2 Chelsea substitutions. Kai Havertz and Mateo Kovacic have given way for David Fofana and Denis Zakaria. Zakaria has been impressive as a starter in recent games. Fofana is making his debut, having joined from the Norwegian side Molde, for whom he's scored 15 goals in the top division there this season, this year, should I say. Norwegian calendar being slightly different to ours football-wise. And he's got 4 goals in European competition as well. 20 years old, and he is an Ivory Coast international. Manchester City, perhaps unsurprisingly, haven't made any changes. Just discussing during the break the ones that might be made, and maybe Calvin Phillips might get a few minutes before starting at Southampton on Wednesday night, but Rico Lewis maybe to get a bit more time, but other than that, it's break time for the regulars.
Well, yeah, I think the conversation with Pep and his players at half-time would have been more of the same. Come out with the same attitude. Make sure you don't come out here and give Chelsea any sign that they can get back into this game. From Chelsea's point of view, they were out early. A couple of changes made. They need to be much better. That wasn't a performance that represents Chelsea Football Club. So
what does he look for, Jermaine? What does he look for this half?
Well, a shot on target would be nice, if I'm totally honest with you. Some form of progression in the game. Some sign that actually you're just not here to get beat. I think that there's no doubt that this City team, when they're on form, can do what they've done in that first half to anybody. But you've got to turn up. You've got to show what you're about, especially when you're wearing that Chelsea shirt. And unfortunately, there was too many of them that just didn't show that in the first half.
Manchester City themselves have come back to win an FA Cup tie in recent memory from being 3-0 down at the break. Could Chelsea do it to them? This is a very different Manchester City these days, but they did it with 10 men at White Hart Lane. I just checked, it was the season before you joined, Jermaine.
You couldn't wait though, could you? You was all over it.
Well, I knew you weren't that old, so
thank you. There we go.
That's why I knew you weren't a Tottenham player quite. There's Alvarez. And Silva finds Kyle Walker and quickly returned. There's Laporte. Palmer. Laporte. Mahrez for the touch. From Walker to Mahrez. Now it's Rodri. Gomez. Cole Palmer. Palmer's 28th first team game for Manchester City. 20 of those, or rather 19 of those have been as a sub. This is 9th start. He's played a lovely ball there into Gomez, but Gomez had gone strayed a little bit too far forward.
Well, they're lucky because Conor Gallagher hasn't got a clue where he is here. He's come out in this second half in almost like a right wing-back type position. And I think he's been told to help out Chalabadan this right-hand side, but on that occasion there, when that ball gets played inside him, he didn't have a clue where Gomez was.
Mr. Humphries successfully finds Mason Mount. I recall never seeing Mason Mount have so few touches of the ball in a half of football.
Yeah, it's difficult to ignore the amount of injuries that Chelsea do have.
Yeah.
And I think if we look at last year, the minute Reece James and Ben Chilwell got injured, they just fell off completely. It's such a pivotal part of their game, and when you just name a couple of those players that we're talking about there, James, Chilwell, Sterling, no Thiago Silva today, because that's the other thing when you're looking around in this, I don't really see who's leading the group here at the minute. I know Jorginho's been in and around for a while and he'd always get on the ball, but it's a young group of players out there.
It's a full 10 out, missing from today's. Just about get a decent team. Thiago Silva's just watching today, and at 38 years young, he's arguably, in fact, is it even arguable, been Chelsea's best player this season.
Oh, he has. There's no doubt about that, and I think that it was the right call, though, from Graham Potter to not play him today. 38 years of age. Got to save the legs, for other games, and will be needed throughout the year.
Thursday night at Fulham, where Chelsea go in the Premier League. They're playing a catch-up match this week. That's given away. There's Alvarez. It was Lewis Hall with the errant ball back into his own half. Mahrez is having a look and then looking for Palmer. And Palmer can't get around Zakaria.
He's looked good though, Zakaria, in his first couple of games. It was a mistake from Hall originally, but sent City on the attack, but cleared up nicely by Zakaria. On the ball now.
Gallagher. Chalobah with the switch across to Humphries. Koulibaly.
It's definitely a much more fluid shape that Chelsea are trying to play here, trying to get Hall and Gallagher into kind of like wing-back positions. Humphries, Chalobah and Koulibaly just slotting into a 3, but it does move at times where it drops in to a 4, as you can see now when City have the ball. But I think Graham Potter's just trying everything to try and get his team up the pitch, try and get some success, but it's not working so far.
Just thinking ahead to that game Thursday night, Chelsea at Fulham, the West London derby. What a big match that is, with Fulham above Chelsea in the table and playing really well at the moment.
Yeah, huge game.
I don't think Mitrovic is available for that one. He's picked up a ban. And Fulham are playing well regardless of that. Manchester City is still playing well here today. Foden's drawn a free kick courtesy of Jorginho. Got in front of him and then got a little shove.
Yeah, it's a bit too quick for him there, for Foden.
Palmer. Rodri has a look. Walker is away and running. The hare is running. Foden. Walker. Hall tries to stay with him. Laporte. And a save for Stefan Ortega to have had to make so far. Mahrez. Coming over to the left to try and find a little bit more joy. Rodri. Didn't like that from Mason Mount. Just took umbrage with him. Laporte.
You're going to get that every now and again.
Bernardo Silva with the chip for Sergio Gomez.
Chelsea players are just going to get more and more frustrated if City just start popping it around.
Mount. Tripped by Rodri, an element of revenge. And Rob Jones, the referee, is making sure that that feud doesn't develop any further. It is a yellow card for Rodri.
Yeah, it's a clear foul from Rodri. As you can see there, there's a little split second there where Mason Mount nearly loses it. Just need to maintain his cool. It's a frustrating evening for him in a Chelsea shirt. Even as a young player himself, he's got to show that he's one of the leaders. He's got enough experience to show that.
184 games into his Chelsea career now. And there he was. To make Ortega do something, and there was a deflection and maybe a goalkeeper's glove as well. It's going to be a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, I don't think it's going in. It's nice and smart, bright play there between Gallagher and Mason Mount. I think it's Gomez who just stays alert to it, gets a little deflection. I think it's probably going to sneak wide, but keeper didn't know that. Gets a touch, keeps himself busy.
Chelsea with a corner. Work to Gallagher. Ziyech. Gomez, who's back there to try and boot the ball away. And now Foden gives chase, but ball should have safe passage back to Kepa. Gomez. Ziyech actually put it through the legs of his teammate Koulibaly, who was still up there after the previous corner. He's getting back now. Rodri. Walker. Oh, well anticipated, Lewis Hall, because I'll tell you what, he didn't want to have to chase.
No, he had no option. He was in no man's land. Did really well, Lewis Hall.
Fans are still in decent voice. Tales are following Chelsea over land and sea. Walker stopped by Hall again. City throw.
Looks like he's in the mood, Kyle Walker. Already got one assist to his name today.
Played by Hall and Ziyech. Humphries. Chalobah. Under pressure from Palmer. He's given that one straight to Bernardo Silva. Gallagher. Chalobah finds Humphries. It's Fofana. It's David Fofana, the new signing from Norwegian football. Wesley Fofana, the centre-back ex of Leicester, is still on the injured list. Hasn't played since early October. Gallagher. Zakaria wins Chelsea a throw-in. Manchester City are ready to make two changes, and they're going to happen now. I don't think we're surprised to see Rodri make way. He's on the yellow card anyway, and I would think this is pretty much pre-planned. Calvin Phillips is going to come on in his place. And the other change, we'll see João Cancelo take the field. And Cancelo is coming on for Sergio Gomez, so he will play in a straight swap in the left-back position.
No, it's not a couple of bad changes, that, is it? I have to say, I thought Rodri was exceptional today. He's had another brilliant season so far in the Manchester City shirt. And this is what that man's got to emulate. That's the standard in that midfield area that Calvin Phillips has got to get up to.
Koulibaly straight out, didn't help Hall with that. Chelsea are going to make a couple of changes as well in a moment, but just a word about the other players gone off. Sergio Gomez, who hasn't had too many chances, did well today.
Did well. I think every time I've seen him, I've liked what I've seen. Very good on the ball, very creative, very similar to someone like Zinchenko and what he produced in his City shirt. Similar skill set, but he, yeah, another good performance from him tonight.
Phillips left on the floor. Chelsea fans, just look away now. Don't look at the screen. Bernardo Silva. And here's Akanji. Palmer to João Cancelo. Phillips. Walker. Is racing across to be an option. His return wasn't anticipated by Walker. Koulibaly to Gallagher. Humphries. Possibly one of the few ticks we can put in the Chelsea box today. Looked assured, pretty safe.
He's not put a foot wrong.
see why he has captained the Premier League 2 side this season. Ziyech.
I mean, that ball that Chalobah's just played there is literally the only ball he had on. There was not a ball into the channel for somebody to run onto. It's like, I've got to float one into Hakim Ziyech's chest over somebody's head with no real support. It's been half of Chelsea's problem today. They've just not really had anything to hit. There's no real direction to the way they play in. So obsessed with going with this kind of like, oh, we'll go to a 4 at the back when City have the ball and then go to a 5 when we've got the ball. It's just doesn't seem to work.
Talk a lot about the word transition in football, don't we? In games and indeed clubs being in a state of transition. Well, that seems to be Chelsea right the way through at the moment.
I just think it's tough enough when you change so many, like the personnel so much.
Again, to defend Graham Potter in one way there, we've already mentioned the injuries. That's not helped his cause.
No, it hasn't.
There's Phillips. Fofana wanted a free kick. Cesar Azpilicueta and Omari Hutchinson have been ready for Chelsea for a little while. The ball hasn't gone out for them to come on. Here's Mahrez. Walker being held back by Humphries, but he shrugged him off. João Cancelo. He's been checked by Gallagher. That'll be a free kick.
Yeah, silly from Gallagher. He hasn't seen his game. And he gets booked far too often. Just got to get there and stand up.
That is a caution for Conor Gallagher. Beaten by João Cancelo, but couldn't stop himself. Brilliant. City wait to take the free kick. Here are the Chelsea changes. Jorginho is off. Ziyech is making way as well. And the old and the young coming on for Chelsea. Cesar Azpilicueta's 497th game for the club. Omari Hutchinson's second, having come on against Manchester City for his debut on Thursday night. Signed from Arsenal last summer. And it comes from Foden. Koulibaly with the flick clear. Palmer. Bernardo Silva. João Cancelo.
I think one of the happiest players from those changes for Chelsea would probably be Conor Gallagher. He was not enjoying himself down in this right wing back position at all. It enables him to go back into midfield and Azpilicueta's come on. A lot more natural in that position. Clear leader in the team, should help massively.
Walker found by Ortega. Little touch back to Walker. Humphries is there. And Walker has got to grips with him too keenly. Ziyech and Jorginho unable to make their marks on the game today. Ziyech, the scorer, an FA Cup semi-final winner against Manchester City 2 years ago. Chelsea won't be making the semis this time. Beaten finalists in each of the last 3 seasons, but it seems as though it's a first stage exit for them this time. And City beaten in the semi-finals in each of the last 3 seasons. About their cup draws this season. They've had Liverpool and Chelsea in the League Cup, Southampton away next, and Chelsea and then possibly Arsenal in this one.
Yeah, I think that's fair with the squad they've got, to be fair.
Yeah. A seeded draw. Chelsea might argue it's not particularly fair on them.
Yeah, good point.
Quetta to Fofana. Fofana's done well. Hutchinson not quite so well, and run away from Zakaria. It has come to Gallagher, urged to shoot, but he couldn't. Hall. Gallagher. He still can't. And his pocket's been picked by Riyad Mahrez. Alvarez into the channel, followed by Koulibaly. Supported by Cole Palmer. Phillips. Alvarez. Bernardo Silva. City didn't go full reverse. Calvin Phillips. Starting again, really, as a Manchester City player with the World Cup in between. Shoulder injury hampered his beginnings, having moved across the Pennines, short trip on the M62 from Leeds.
He's also not the only player that has just joined Manchester City and found the first season difficult. You know, Riyad Mahrez was a player that found it difficult. Cancelo, didn't see much of him for a good 18 months, I'd say. Nathan Ake is another one. There's plenty of players that have turned up. And you think they're going to be there forever.
Yeah, even Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, you could probably. I mean, Diaz was like the main man at one point. Ruben Diaz at the back, and I know he's had his injuries and so on and so forth himself, but I think it's just the way that Pep sees it.
Jack Grealish to add to the list as well. Arrizabalaga finds Azpilicueta. Phillips. Yet to start again for Manchester City. We are told that will be rectified in the League Cup in midweek. João Cancelo. Palmer. It's behind him. The intended return, but it's given back to João Cancelo. Here's Foden. Now Walker. Phillips. Mahrez. The keep ball continues. Phillips. Phillips. Important touch to it from Zakaria. Humphries. Fofana. A throw in.
I actually think it's important for Calvin Phillips when he comes onto the pitch to show Pep, who obviously already knows, but just how good a passer of the ball he is, because, you know, the role that he plays, he's got to be positionally astute, just like Rodri is, picking up the ball in the right places, but I think his passing range could be better. And if he gets a good run in the game, he can hit big diagonals, he can hit tight balls when he's playing forward. He's a very, very good footballer. It's just getting him the minutes.
He looks in good shape. Issue with that post-World Cup. What were we talking there, Jermaine? You know how these things work. A gram?
I was always in the other group, so I was always getting away with it. But yeah,
wiry and live.
Yeah, don't take much. A couple of kilograms here and there to get you in the bad books. Doing a few extra sessions, but easily done when you're not playing as well, week in, week out. If I'm totally honest with you.
It's a yellow card for Bernardo Silva. He tripped Gallagher, who's got on with the game quickly. Hutchinson finds Azpilicueta. He won't find him with that. And there's a blot on Bernardo's copybook. Mentioned about Conor Gallagher, who he tripped. And Bernardo Silva's got that in him as well.
He has, but it's what makes him so good as well. Very combative in that first half. He was even saying he got on the end of I think it was a Chelsea cross into the box, and he's in between the two centre-halves. It's a part of his game that a lot of people don't realise.
Another teenager about to come on for Chelsea, Carney Chukwuemeka, getting his instructions. Mason Mount is scheduled to be the player who makes way for him. Well, he got a kick in training that forced him to miss the last couple of games, but he's barely got a kick tonight. Chukwuemeka came on Thursday night and hit the post and impressed, actually.
Yeah, I think the way all the youngsters at the end of that game in the week came on, I thought they impressed. They upped the intensity of the game. They shown that they cared. They got themselves about the pitch, and it's a shame that I've not seen any of that from Chelsea tonight. But players like Chukwuemeka and Conor Gallagher did it. Hall did it.
There's Hall confronting Walker. Bernardo Silva. Manchester City seem to have stepped off for a lot of this second half, but they're still in total control of this cup tie. Palmer to Phillips. Given away by Laporte. Phillips quickly wins it back. It was too quick for Hutchinson. Palmer. Great work from João Cancelo. Now Bernardo Silva. Mahrez. Mahrez checks inside. But the shot is just outside. And defenders allow him to do that at their peril.
Yeah, look, I mean, you know exactly what he wants to do here, Riyad Mahrez, and you've got to get him going on his right foot. It's easier said than done. Felt like Gallagher overcommitted a little bit, and he wasn't far off finding that far post, was he?
Mason Mount off, Carney Chukwuemeka comes on. Last summer's signing from Aston Villa. I wonder if he's seen some bright sides since half-time. He's heading to 50 feet in Chelsea's last 7 games. And an FA Cup exit. There's Azpilicueta. Fofana had his arm in the air. He's got a bit of room, but Azpilicueta can't find him. Hutchinson now. Hutchinson's had a go, but it's a bit of a tame dribbler wide. But he's had a go.
Yeah, it was very tame, wasn't it? I think the attack kind of broke down when Azpilicueta cuts back and gives it to Hutchinson. It was a tame effort. I think the ball on the far side was on before that to Fofana or Chukwuemeka, who just come onto the pitch.
It was down as a second Chelsea attempt on Stefan Ortega's goal. It's not been one on target yet. Zakaria. Humphries evaded Alvarez. Kepa. Humphries to Hall. Humphries away. And Laporte is miscued. That'll be a Chelsea throw.
It's good pressure again, though, from Manchester City.
Couldn't quite make out the full message of the banner. I didn't do Latin at school, so it's over to you, Jermaine. You didn't either, no?
No, I'll pass on that. Yeah.
Here's Humphries. Chalobah. Koulibaly. Gallagher. That's out. Just a reminder for you that all of the highlights from today's busy day of FA Cup action in the third round can be seen on BBC One tonight from 10:30. I think all of the highlights from this one will be from the first 45 minutes, and Chelsea fans, you are excused. I'm sure you've got better things to watch. Laporte to João Cancelo. Alvarez. There's Koulibaly. Might there be a highlight for Chelsea before the end of this? I think Bashir Humphries has been one, actually.
Yeah, I think it's hard to disagree with that. 19 years old to come into a game like this.
Well, Hutchinson, the flag has stayed down, and he's checked inside Laporte. There's a ball on over there, but it wasn't that one. Walker was the recipient rather than Chukwuemeka, who should have been. Hall. So Manchester City 13 minutes and a bit away from settling down tomorrow night to watch Oxford United or Arsenal do battle for the right to come here in the fourth round. As for Fana, showing good strength, and he got a toe poke to it as well. Now it's Hutchinson. Fofana's in the middle. Hutchinson again from Chukwuemeka. And that one's deflected over the top from Zakaria. It'll be a Chelsea corner, but a decent statement of Chelsea intent.
Well, some nice movement as well. Some players getting on the ball. Chukwuemeka just making his presence felt. There's a bit of confidence in this attack. They eventually work out to Zakaria, who just, it's a good block, I think, from Akanji. He could move it a bit quicker, but I mean, there's cries of shoot from the crowd that kind of tells you their thoughts. I think you can see where it caught Akanji.
Swiss block Swiss. And he needs to take a good few lungfuls of air. Gallagher's going to take the corner. Superb Chelsea support this afternoon. Still going strong. That's too strong. And it's headed wide by Chalobah, who had expended all his energy just trying to get to it. Win it for Luca, I think, is the translation of the banner. Now we can see it in full. Oh, they needed Gianluca at his very best days today. God rest him, what a player, what a man. FA Cup winner with Chelsea in '97 as a player, then in 2000 as the man in charge. Zakaria.
He's a good player.
Really has shown that the last few weeks. Mahrez. Conor Gallagher showing signs of frustration. Just looked to the heavens, waved his arms around.
He's had a tough game. As have a lot of the Chelsea players. He just wants to perform.
Hutchinson. Pursued by Palmer. That's Piliqueta. Chukwuemeka. Sapalaga. Hall. Chukwuemeka. It's going to be a free kick for Chelsea. I'm afraid to say we've praised that Chelsea support all afternoon, and I think it's still just about the right side of good-natured, but there are a few getting a little over-exuberant, making their own entertainment in that end, and it's going a little bit awry in places. Let's hope it's contained quickly. Kanji is caught, and there's an angry blast of the ball out by Azpilicueta against the advertisements. He's feeling it. He's got Chelsea blood now, having been at the club for so long.
Well, he's done everything there is to do in a Chelsea shirt. Nights like this will still hurt him. His team's suffering.
Foden was going to be helped back to his feet by Gallagher. That's the Manchester City response to the Chelsea fans above them. Kanji. Palmer. Well, I know a lot of people don't like this, but some are quite keen students. How are you on expected goals, Jermaine? Where do you stand on that as a piece of analysis?
I'm not really a fan of it.
Okay. Well, Chelsea's today might tell a story, because as things stand, their XG is 0.1.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Hutchinson. Laporte. I guess you could extrapolate the expected goals over the last few games and it wouldn't rise that much either. It is clearly a problem for Chelsea that needs solving.
Yeah.
Creativity and finishing any chances off. There's Bernardo Silva. Is there another Manchester City opportunity beckoning? There is. And Foden is down. Was he pushed? Rob Jones thinks he was, and he gives Manchester City the penalty. And if there is any sort of weight on Phil Foden there, it's unlikely to be overturned on review. It's Koulibaly who came across him and flicked out a leg trying to win the ball.
Yeah, as you can see here, he just sticks that leg out, gets nowhere near the ball. Phil Foden's 1v1. It's too clumsy. It was always going to be given.
And it didn't take the video assistant referee long to confirm the award of the spot kick. Interesting that Alvarez is not taking this one. Riyad Mahrez is bouncing the ball on the spot. Maybe with the game won, he wants this to get his confidence back from 12 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a rocky spell, hasn't he? He's always willing to step up and take them. He's missed a few.
And his record for Manchester City is scored 10 out of 14, but he's missed 3 of his last 4. He's missed his last 2 at Copenhagen and Dortmund in the Champions League. Riyad Mahrez to make it 4-0. That's how to do it. 2 for him, 4 for Manchester City, breezing into the 4th round of the FA Cup.
Manchester City 4, Chelsea 0.
Well, he's been exceptional today, Riyad Mahrez.
The number 26, Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah, he took his first goal brilliantly. Desperately wanted to take this penalty. There's no stopping that. Just smashes it into the roof of the net. No keeper stopping that one.
Fully focused on that. That meant a bit to Riyad Mahrez, even with the game won. There'll be a battle to take penalties in future. Don't think they'll steal the ball from Haaland easily when he's on the field, but They've got Alvarez, they've got Mahrez, they've got Gundogan, De Bruyne and Rodri, who've all scored from 12 yards for Manchester City. Pep Guardiola has made a change in the aftermath of seeing his team make it 4, because Rico Lewis has come on again. He's taken over from Bernardo Silva as Phillips finding Ortega. And what a young talent he is. As compliments go, there can't be any bigger to a budding right-back come midfielder as we look at the Poznan. Some Chelsea fans are doing that as well, by the way. Probably just want to turn their backs. Just talking about Rico Lewis, and we'll hold off on that for a minute because City are coming again with Mahrez on a hat-trick. Mahrez down, I don't think he was tripped, and the referee doesn't either. That's a trip. Cancelo on Chalobah, and it's a yellow card for João Cancelo, and it's quite a ridiculous one to pick up at this stage.
Yeah, it is. I think you go back to the bigger challenge though from Zakaria. He's made a big difference to this Chelsea team. That's a silly challenge from Cancelo.
Back by Humphries to Kepa. João Cancelo. Phillips. Lewis. Just going to tell you how Pep Guardiola compared him to a little Philip Lahm this week. Not a right back who might play in midfield in times to come, and that's where he's playing now, in fact. There can be no bigger compliment, and who knows more about Philip Lahm than Pep Guardiola?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think any fullbacks that are being put into midfield just shows you the level of quality and intelligence that he feels that Lewis has.
Walker to Phillips.
That's Michael if he'd have enjoyed playing in centre midfield. I actually played against Michael once in centre midfield.
Hang on, he was?
Yeah, he tried to kill me once. Some crazy tackles.
Here's Palmer. I might go and try and find that game and have a look at it. There's João Cancelo. Alvarez. Koulibaly second in the race. Palmer. Rico Lewis battles for the ball. Humphries. There's Laporte, and it's out for a Chelsea throw. Now, there won't be any late drama in this one, but there has been some at Villa Park. Look at this, Stevenage battling for promotion at the top of League Two, but this is the FA Cup at Premier League Aston Villa, and Jamie Reid from the spot has made it Villa 1, Stevenage 1. It looks as though a replay is beckoning up Broadhall Way. Here's Hutchinson. Gallagher. Hall. Gallagher finds Chukwuemeka. Hall. Gallagher. And it's Phillips. And that never looked likely to amount to anything for Chelsea. Lewis. João Cancelo. We're into 2 additional minutes now. I think think it's time for you, Jermaine, to tell us who your player of the match is.
Yeah, I think the man that made the difference on Thursday night in this same fixture, Riyad Mahrez, is my man of the match tonight. I think it's been different class.
Booted out by Koulibaly. Now get this, there's another goal at Villa Park. There might not be a replay at Stevenage, they've only gone and won it. Aston Villa 1, Stevenage from League 2, 2. That is the story of the FA Cup third round right there.
Wow.
Dean Campbell has just put his name in lights with a crisp strike low and hard into the corner. And there's Humphreys. Reward for Stevenage, as if they were thinking about that now. They'll just be celebrating is a trip to Stoke City. They were victorious earlier on today at Hartlepool. Manchester City victorious here, and comfortably so. Here's Alvarez. Is there to be a fifth before full time? Mahrez. Walker to Akanji. Well, that was as comfortable as it could possibly have been for Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Graham Potter's Chelsea have a few problems to solve right now. They have only won one of their last 7 games. They're on a losing trot. And this result was really never in doubt from the moment Riyad Mahrez put Manchester City in front with a brilliant free kick. Alvarez from the spot, and Phil Foden had basically knocked Chelsea out before half-time. And then Mahrez with a penalty of his own to double up for the day before the end. It'll be Oxford or Arsenal here in round 4 for Manchester City. But for Chelsea, for the first time in 25 years, it's an FA Cup exit at the first hurdle. Manchester City 4, Chelsea 0.